Hi there, it's Alex Goad, best-selling author, coach, and small business specialist. And today we're going to continue in the 10X Your Life series about one of the most important things, maybe the most important thing that determines the drive, the energy, the motivation, and the ability that you have to get up in the morning and go out there and get the things that you really want. I'm talking, of course, about purpose. If you watched my last video, then you heard me say that research proves that having a higher sense of purpose will automatically help you increase your income, increase your lifespan, increase your health, increase your energy. There's not a lot of things it can't do. So a lot of people look at the granular details and they look at their life and they look at the little outcomes, the little things that they do, and they think, how can I improve these things individually? Well, there's a master switch that helps you improve all of them at the same time more easily, and that thing is purpose. So I'm going to run over this little diagram with you. Then I'm going to ask you 16 questions and I'm going to give you a scorecard. And you may have noticed that you can download that list of questions and scorecard under this video if you're on my website. And if you're not, I invite you to find your way there somehow. It's almost certainly linked somewhere if you're not on my website already. Get the worksheet so that you can do it as we go through it. Finally, I'm going to show you how to add up your scores, and I'm going to show you 5 perfect questions that are going to allow you to course correct from either being totally aimless to being highly purposeful or somewhere in between. Okay, so let's get started. Let's have a look at this diagram. So this diagram represents, here's what so many people suffer from. They feel like they have a potential this big, and they feel like they're doing this much with it. If you've seen this great TED video that shows the 5 regrets of the dying when they're on their deathbed and they say, I wish I had done things differently, it has everything to do with this. It has everything to do with the fact that they wish that they had lived truer to their own purpose rather than just kind of letting time slip by and doing things the way that other people do them, or doing simply what others expect of them when they felt that they had another calling or something else that they wanted to do. So much of the suffering that we have in life, of the feeling of not belonging, of not being connected, of meaninglessness, it all comes from being in the gap here. So I've scored purpose from 0 to 20 on a scale of purpose, where 0 is absolute total aimlessness and 20 is like being absolutely 100% congruent with your values, with your desires, with your goals, and living that mission from morning till night, every day, every night, maybe even dreaming about it at night with a big smile on your face. Okay, so the vast majority of people in our society live somewhere over here. A small number of people live here, and a tiny number of people live up here. And these are the people that we see on TV, that write the great books, that accomplish the great missions, and that do things that inspire us. And they do them with a level of apparent ease that we find striking and disturbing. And we think, I could never be like that. You could be like that if you had the same level of purpose. So you have to extract your own mission, your own purpose, because that's the thing that becomes your guiding star, not somebody else's, but your guiding star. And then when you move towards it, well, that's how you get into those upper spheres. So here's how this works. There is what I call the golden thread of life. The golden thread of life is this kind of threshold where you're close enough to your potential, to what you're supposed to be doing with your time, to what's meaningful to you, to the impact that you want to make. You're either close enough to it that you feel congruent, that you feel good, that you feel fulfilled. You're above it, which is not likely at this point. Or you're way below it, and you have this giant chasm here between where you feel like you want to be and where you actually are. What you would like your life to look like, what it actually is. And most of the time, people who are down here and even over here, the number one dominant thread of their life, rather than being purpose, is addiction. Because when you have this kind of giant gap between what you feel your potential is but what you're actually doing with yourself, then that aimlessness and that void needs to be filled with something. And the number one thing that we fill it in with these days and all the time is addiction. Now, what are the addictions of the day? Well, they're technology, they are food, they are being offended about this, that, or the other. And if you look at it, our society really, the mainstream is driven by those things. Food, technology, offense taking, and really not much else. So we all have these kind of addictions to a certain extent. The point is to not let it dominate our life and become the number one thing. Okay, so let's get into those 16 questions, because every level that you go up here, your life gets better and you get closer to expressing that which you feel you were meant to express. Sometimes when you're here, you don't even know what it is that you're meant to express. You just have a kind of feeling that there's supposed to be so much more, but you're not doing it. It's not happening. It's not there. You don't understand. You're missing something. I'm going to show you how to find all of these things by asking you 16 questions and giving you a scorecard. Okay, so I hope that you've paused this video, that you've downloaded the sheet, or grab a piece of paper or just open a Word document, write down the number of the question, write down your answer, and then you're going to be able to refer to the scorecard later. And you're going to see if you do this exercise, this literally has the potential to change your life. If you're struggling right now and you want to feel better about things, give me 10 minutes with this and we're going to get you there. Watch and see. All right, so number one question. Do you have a clear sense of mission or purpose in your life? It's a simple yes or no answer. Score 1 for a yes, score 0 for a no. Don't overcomplicate things. Just answer the questions quickly. You're going to see this is all going to make sense, and it's just going to give you a general score that's going to give you a general idea, and then a good kind of roadmap for how to make things a lot better. Okay? Number 2, how much does this mission resonate with me? If you don't have a mission, you score a 0. If you're 0 to 5 in resonance, you also score a 0. If you're 6 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10, then you score a 1. Number 3, do I know what my values are? Do you have a sense of clarity about what your values are? Or are you unsure? Certain, 1. Unsure, 0. All right, moving on. How well does my life align with my values? Where 10 is perfect alignment and 1 is, well, you guessed it, not very aligned at all. So again, 6 to 10, you score a 1, 0 to 5, you score a 0. Next up, is my environment enriched, neutral, or impoverished? Here's what this means, is that you're in an environment where the signals coming in around you have a similar value set to what you have. A lot of what's going on around you is congruent with your mission, with your purpose. So it all kind of makes sense. Or you can have a neutral environment, or you can have a negative environment where you're trying to go that way, but everybody's trying to pull you that way. And so you're getting mixed signals, and your environment is actually creating an anchor that's holding you back and that's making you do things that you wish you weren't doing. Next question. Am I connecting, for the enriched environment question, if you live in an enriched environment, you score a 2. If you're in a neutral environment, it's a 1. And if you're in an impoverished environment, that is a 0. Next question. Am I connecting with enough people daily? So if you have 5 positive interactions with people daily, on average, you score a 1. And if you have anything less than that, you score a 0. Next question. Am I connecting with people on a regular basis around my mission? There's 2 types of people that you need to connect with. The people that are being impacted and the people that share the same mission. If you answer yes to both of those questions, then you score 2 points. If you answer yes to one of them, it's 1 point. And if you answer no to both, it's 0. Next, is my energy 7 out of 10 or higher? And this is really a subjective thing, but you have an idea of what your maximum level of energy is. And if on most days you're not reaching a 7 or higher, you score a 0. And if you are reaching a 7 or higher on most days, then you score a 1. Next, am I doing something that makes me feel bad or makes me feel out of alignment? And this is really a question of, are you doing something that kind of goes against your purpose, kind of goes against your values? If so, then you score a 0. If not, then you score a 1. Next, really important question. Do I see evidence of the good that I'm doing in the world? So often having a mission, having a sense of purpose aligns us with our personal idea of what it is to do good. And then if we do that good and we see other people benefiting from it, or we just see the change that our actions bring into the world and the impact that that has, score a 1. If you don't see the impact, either because you don't go out on the territory, or you don't see the people that you're influencing, or you're not doing the things that would create that impact, then it's a 0. Next question. Am I contributing my best skill and my highest intelligence? If you answer yes to both of those things, score a 2. If it's somewhat, score a 1. And if the answer is a no or close to a no, score a 0. Be honest here, because otherwise it's not going to work. All right. Next question. Do I feel in control of what I'm doing and of my life? If you feel like you're totally in control of yourself and your life, you score a 2. If you feel like it's somewhat the case, you score a 1. If you feel like most of the time you're not really in control, score a 0. Next question. Am I indulging too much in addiction or distraction? I'll leave it up to you to say what's too much, but if it's interrupting with connection to your purpose and connection to what you really want to be doing, then it's too much. And if it's just a little bit, well, that's okay. All right. Next question. Am I regularly having fun and doing things that I love? And this excludes anything that could be an addiction. So watching TV doesn't count. Browsing social media doesn't count. Texting doesn't count. Anything that's kind of mindless consumption doesn't count. It has to be kind of an active thing. So like reading would work. A proper hobby would work. Anything along those lines. All right. Score a 0 if you're not, and score a 1 if you do. Next question, we got only 2 left here. Am I making progress towards my most important goal? Having a sense of making progress in your life is one of the most important drivers of everything. So you're either advancing, albeit ever so slowly, or you're not. If you feel like you're advancing, score a 1. If you feel like you're not, score a 0. Last question is, am I expressing my uniqueness and authenticity? This is one of the most important things. One of our ingrained desires is to be ourselves as much as possible. We have a unique physiology, we have a unique set of emotions, a unique spirituality, each and every one of us, which means that whatever we want to do in the world is going to be expressed in a different way. We have different feelings, we have different impacts, we have different values. And the more we live in alignment with those, the better we feel, and the less we live in alignment with them, the more disconnected we feel. So if you're expressing your uniqueness and authenticity, score a 1, and if you're not, score a 0. So now, you can pause this video and take a couple of seconds to kind of add up those scores and see where you end up. And I'm going to bet it's going to be somewhere in this vicinity over here. If you're over here, you're going to be suffering a lot. And I have some good news for you. You can end that suffering. There's a lot that you can do to bring yourself up along here, and you're going to feel much better about things. If you're in here, you might feel like you're okay, but there should be more, and you're not really connecting with it. And gosh, things are kind of dull and drudge, and you look at people that are really living their purpose, and you think, dear gosh, I wish I had that as well, because it's a beautiful thing. Good news. You can have that. I'm going to show you how. So add up your scores. Score yourself out of 20. Be honest with it, because this is really going to be one of the most helpful things that you can ever do. And you'll see that if you're trying to accomplish something and it doesn't land you in these scores over here, maybe it's the wrong thing. And then you can stubborn away at it as long as you want, and you don't really get anywhere, and you don't really feel any sense of fulfillment even when you succeed. Finally, here are the questions that are going to allow you to course correct. There's not 5 of them, there's 4 of them. So once you've done this audit, ask yourself these 4 questions, and immediately it'll become clear what you need to avoid and what you need to move towards so that you can move yourself up on the purpose scale. All right? So number 1 question, what would I need to do? What would I need to know to do my mission better? Okay, so this is a question of knowledge. What is the knowledge that if you had more of that knowledge, you'd be able to do your mission better. This might include clarity about what your mission is in the first place. Next question. What would I need to be able to do to engage with my mission fully, engage with my purpose fully? So this is not a question of knowledge, this is a question of skill or ability. What skill or ability could you add to your current array of skills and abilities that would allow you to connect better, faster with your mission, with your purpose? Next question. What do I need to change in order to increase my score? So when you look at the way that you answer the questions and you go through that, certain things are going to come to mind that are going to be specific to you, that you're going to be able to say, like, look, here's where I screw things up, and if I changed it and did this instead, things would go a lot better. That's the point of that question. And the final question is, what do I need to stop doing in order to live my purpose? And you're going to see that a lot of answers are going to come up to that question, because whether it be addiction, whether it be negative emotions, whether you're going to find out how is it that you avoid connecting with your main purpose, with your main mission. And when you have those answers and then you see yourself doing it, you're going to think, no, I'm tired of doing this. I'm going to do something else instead. So the awareness that this is going to create is going to give you at least a big fat arrow pointing you in the right direction. And then it's going to be up to you to follow the path or not follow the path. I'm going to show you in the next video how you can find your purpose, deepen your purpose, increase the level of patience that you have in pursuit of it so that your abilities catch up, your knowledge catches up, and you get the space to grow yourself into a well-rounded person that can connect with a higher purpose, a higher mission, and leave exactly the impact that you want to leave on this earth by living exactly the life that you want to live and being exactly the person that you want to be. So, thanks for listening. I hope that you'll sign up and watch the next video. I'm Alex Goad, thanking you for watching and reminding you that today is a template for the rest of your life. So behave yourself accordingly. See you next time.